Hey there. Trading requires a lot of discipline. That's a given. Day trading, needless to mention, it requires a lot more discipline. So what we're going to do in this course is, spend a few minutes taking a look at some of the strategies that we use for trading. Now, before I get started, this is not investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't, nor do I claim to be one. So take a look at this course. Hopefully, you have some learnings that come out of this. Take it with more than a grain of salt, but use that purely for education and entertainment purposes, right? So that's the disclaimer. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can get into the course, and then slowly but surely we'll get into the weeds of what I want to be able to share in the next 30 to 45 minutes here. By way of background, excuse me, I run a startup in the DC metro area. You're probably aware of Snowpal as a company. We have many different products. The one that we've kept a lot of our focus on, at least in the recent past, has been on APIs, right? So we create and publish APIs on AWS Marketplace. So it takes you less than 2 minutes to actually subscribe to these APIs and build your systems in real quick time. Or you can, if you want to deploy these APIs in your own infrastructure, you can buy a commercial license from us, and it starts at about $5,000, right? It's very affordable. It's going to be a whole lot cheaper and less expensive than other options that you'll have, which is to staffing a team to getting stuff done. One of the next APIs that we're beginning to work on is a fintech API. More about that API shortly, perhaps not in this video, but in other videos. So follow us, subscribe to our newsletter by going to products.snowpal.com. And hopefully you can learn, and we publish a number of all our podcasts pretty much are free for the most part, at least. So by following our podcast, you can improve both your finance and your software engineering skills along with AI skills as well. Um, so let's get into this course. Now back to it. The idea is, like I mentioned, day trading requires a lot of discipline. Anything you do in life requires discipline, needless to mention. But trading and day trading in particular demands more of that than a number of other fields out there, and I'll tell you why as we go. So in the last 3 to 6 months, as we define our requirements rather than manufacture our requirements for the next API, which we never do, we decided to spend a lot more time in the stock market to sort of feel the pain and the joy, if you will, when there is some, few and far between. Some days and other days it's all right. To see how it goes essentially. And when you do things part time, you really don't understand or appreciate the magnitude of both the difficulty or the breadth of the joy as well. So some of us spend a fair bit of time in the stock market with two things in mind. One is surely to make money, and two, the more important agenda being gathering requirements for our next API. Now, both are equally important for us, one more than the other, depending on the day or the week. But that has taught us a number of different things, which I think might be worthwhile sort of sharing it, right? And again, take it with a grain of salt, more than a grain of salt. So, in this, again, the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you a number of things we've done to help our disciplines, so to speak. Let's get started with, again, background being, let's say you are, whether you're paper trading, meaning you're actually not putting real money into the market. We have courses and podcasts on that as well, meaning how do you want to get started with investments and trading, and why paper trading is actually a good idea. Now, it's got its pros and cons, because when real money is not at stake, sometimes you react, a lot of times we as people react differently and we have different emotions. So that's something to keep in mind. But outside of that, it does teach you a number of things that you would otherwise not be able to learn. At least it'll be more theory than being practical. Day trade gives you that luxury of trying a number of things out by putting paper dollars into actual trades and investments and sort of seeing how it goes. Um, we have other content that's around it. Definitely feel free to check that out, and I might include links to that here as well. In this one, we're going to talk about some of the processes that we follow on a daily basis, or a weekly basis, or sometimes even a monthly basis, or perhaps even a quarterly basis, but primarily daily and a weekly basis. What do we do? Like, the markets open, the stock market, and I'm going to use these, there's a number of different exchanges. I'm going to, if I say Dow or Nasdaq or any of those things, I mean almost one